The purpose of this lesson is to give a little history of Romeo and Juliet, as well as to find themes and motifs throughout the play. I want you to be able to give me some examples of these motifs and themes. I do have some quizzes, so make sure you pay attention. William Shakespeare is considered by many to be the greatest writer in the English language. He was an English poet and playwright, often known as the Bard of Avon. He wrote 38 plays, 154 sonnets, and several long poems. Many of his plays were published during his lifetime in quarter and octavo format, like bootlegs today. Only 16 of these plays still exist. He never believed any of his works would ever be published. The first folio, published in 1623, 7 years after he died, was published by 2 of his actor friends. Without this folio, we would not have Macbeth, The Taming of the Shrew, or Twelfth Night. If he were living today, Shakespeare would be making $15 million a year. All right, time for a quiz. How many sonnets did Shakespeare write? 253, 346, 154, or 127? 154. Good job. Now let's watch a short video by the Reduced Shakespeare Company and their video on Romeo and Juliet. Don't you love how they have made it shorter and funny? They say the best comedies are tragedies. Next comes Romeo and Juliet's history. Shakespeare actually got his idea for Romeo and Juliet from a poem he read by Arthur Brooke called The Tragical History of Romeo and Juliet. It is based on real lovers who lived in Verona, Italy, who died for each other in 1303. At that time, the Capulets and Montagues were among those that really lived in Verona. All right, time for another quiz. Shakespeare got the idea for his play from a poem, a sonnet, another play, or a story. From a poem. Good job. Next comes the theme, the forcefulness of love. There are many themes throughout Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, but the one I would like us to focus on is the forcefulness of love. Love is naturally the play's most important theme. Love in Romeo and Juliet is a brutal, powerful emotion that captures individuals and turns them against their worlds, and sometimes against themselves. The play does not make a specific statement about love, but rather portrays the chaos and passion of being in love, combining images of love, violence, death, religion, and family in an impressionistic rush, leading to the play's tragic end. All right, ready for another quiz? Love is described as what in Romeo and Juliet? Forceful, chaotic, ecstatic, or all of the above? All of the above. Very good. All right, now I would like to talk to you about the motif of the play. One of the play's most visual motifs is the contrast between light and dark. Light is not portrayed as good and dark evil as in many plays. Here, light and dark are generally used to provide a sensory contrast and to hint at alternatives. Romeo's lengthy meditation on the sun and the moon. Juliet is described as the sun and sees it as banishing the moon and transforming night into day. Then you see another example when Romeo is forced to leave for exile in the morning. Juliet doesn't want him to leave. They both try to pretend that it is still night and that the light is actually darkness. More light and light, more dark, and dark our woes. Could someone come up here and volunteer to give us an example and write it on the board? Thank you, Margaret. Please come up and write another example of light and dark imagery. What do you think it was? That's right, when Friar Lawrence first appears. He talks about the gray-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night. Would you please write that on the board? Thank you, Margaret. Alright, now y'all can flip through your books and see if you can find any more examples of themes or motifs throughout the play.